5 concussions have stolen many of his memories. He can't even remember the start of his own NFL career. Super Bowl champion Ben Utecht pens a love letter to his family before he forgets who they are. Plus, rain or shine, this soup man delivers.
I was never homeless, but experienced hunger firsthand on a regular basis. That experience, it always stuck with me.
Meet the man who's delivered over 1 million meals to the hungry. All on today's 700 Club Interactive. Good morning and welcome to the show. Well, middle school isn't always easy. That's an understatement, isn't it?
For certain.
Oh boy. With the extra homework load and the bullying that can go on, it can be a struggle for many families.
Mom Amy Gardner knew exactly what to do before her daughter started middle school. She's the mom of 2. She told her 11-year-old to squeeze an entire tube of toothpaste on a plate and taught her a lesson she'll remember for the rest of her life. When her daughter finished, Amy asked her to put all the toothpaste back in the tube. Of course, her daughter, Brianna, said that she couldn't and said it won't be like it was before. Well, Gardner then explained this metaphor. She said, "You'll remember this plate of toothpaste for the rest of your life. Your words have the power of life or death. As you go into middle school, you're about to see just how much weight your words carry. You're going to have the opportunity to use your words to hurt, demean, slander, and wound others. You're also going to have the opportunity to use your words to heal, encourage, inspire, and love others. Just like this toothpaste, once the words leave your mouth, you can't take them back. Use your words carefully. Decide tonight that you're going to be a life giver in middle school. Be known for your gentleness and compassion. Use your life to give life to a world that so desperately needs it. You will never, ever regret choosing kindness." Well, Amy became a mom only recently. She and her husband started as foster parents 2 years ago and have since adopted Brianna and her sister. She says while most parents have their children for 18 years, they only have half of that time and want to instill strong values in both of their girls before they send them off into the world. Sounds like they've got a great start on that.
It's a great reminder for all of us, isn't it? You know, I was thinking in the book of James, how James says in the New Testament about the power of the tongue and how even a fire is started by a small spark, and especially in middle school. That's great counsel.
Well, and you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, certainly for all of us, but I think the other thing is so often when you adopt or foster, you're also teaching to reverse maybe some poor things that have been taught in a child's life. So she's got twice the effort going there, but great start. I'm gonna borrow that, Amy.
Wonderful illustration. In some other heartwarming news, one Virginia woman's passion for helping people in need has become a reality. 73-year-old Betty Anderson joined the Peace Corps. Betty, who was a Hampton University recruiter for the organization years ago, explained that her service has been a long time coming. Becoming a part of Peace Corps was a desire that I had more than 50 years ago. My vision is to be of service to others and build positive relationships that will promote the best of America. Well, Betty is headed off to Botswana to serve. Most people probably can't find that on a map, right? A Peace Corps spokesperson said that Betty will spend 3 months in training, and during that time, she'll be living with a host family, diving into the country's culture and language. She'll participate as a volunteer, working mostly on HIV response and help to orphans, vulnerable children and their caregivers, at-risk youth, people living with HIV, or those affected by gender-based violence. Way to go.
I guess so. You know, most people would just be saying, I've earned a comfortable time in my life right now. Exactly. And she's heading right into the fray. Good for you. Well, we all know that feeling when you get out of a hot shower and you feel like $1 million. And that's something one man wants everyone to experience, even the homeless. Jake Austin believes a shower can foster hope and build towards a better health and a future. Take a look. Shower to the People. That is a guy with vision. I love that. We want to thank the Daily Intelligencer and Shower to the People for that video. If you'd like to learn more about what they're doing, go to www.showertothepeople.net. Very, very meaningful. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
And in other news, this is interesting, Terry. I'm not sure how you'll feel about this. If you're the average millennial male, your dad is stronger than you are. In fact, you may not be stronger than the average female. An article in the National Review and a recent study showed that the grip strength of college men had declined significantly between 1985 and 2016. It declined so much, from 117 pounds to 98 pounds, that it now matches that of older millennial women. In other words, the average college male had no more hand strength than a 30-year-old mom. They're strong, though. Come on.
Just saying.
These findings are consistent with other studies showing children are less fit today. It takes kids 90 seconds longer to run a mile than it did 30 years ago. Plus, the idea of manual labor is very foreign to many, with some men not knowing how to be a protector, or a builder, or a fixer. For older men, Saturdays, of course, might have been spent mowing the lawn or changing the oil on a car, maybe building a deck on the back of the house. But in this new age of technology, with lots of video games, lawn care service companies, and instant oil changes, the evolution of men has changed. And of course, Terry, you know, it's been pointed out by some that someone's grip strength isn't the only way to measure fitness or strength, you know, but it's an indicator for sure. But, you know, would
whether
really
they're active just sort of generically in their lifestyle. Or?
As we mentioned with the video games, of course, it's not that surprising perhaps. But also, you know, we do a lot of talk about how fatherlessness is a problem in this country. So it's no surprise if boys aren't learning how to do things their fathers had learned to do and not getting out and fixing things.
What's surprising about the strength issue to me, though, is I don't know that there's ever been a generation that's been as committed to the gym and to regular workouts and running and all of that as the generation that we live in. I mean, my kids are gym rats, so I can't imagine they
That's
wouldn't
good
have
to hear.
strong.
Excellent.
Yeah, I wish their mother was, but not so much.
When I got married, my father-in-law began to notice all the things I didn't know how to fix, and he had a real good time with that. So. Well, speaking of strength, football is a sport that requires mental and physical strength. After 5 concussions, Super Bowl champion Ben Utecht is now in a race to write down his memories before he forgets them forever. He joins us right after this. Stay with us. Well, Ben Utecht knew that life in the NFL would require a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and pain, but he never imagined that his dream career would cost him his memories. Take a look.
Ben Utecht had a successful career as a tight end in the NFL. He played with the Indianapolis Colts when they won Super Bowl 41 the 2006 season. But Ben's success didn't come without bumps and bruises. He suffered 5 concussions during the years he played, and by 2009 was experiencing memory loss at the age of 28. In his book, Counting the Days While My Mind Slips Away, Ben shares an emotional love letter to his family and tells how faith keeps him strong as he faces an uncertain future.
Well, Ben Utecht joins us now. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Your book's very unique, at least I found it unique, especially in terms of, it's a very macho football book, hits, bumps, bruises, showing how violent the game is, yet it's a love story.
Yeah.
It's your journey with Christ. And I think a lot of times people forget, watching guys in the NFL, that there are men and families behind their career. And tell us what is going on now with your health before we get into some of these other details. Where are you now with the brain injuries?
Well, the journey really this transformational exit of the NFL and trying to rediscover who I am as a man today has been a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, especially amidst the fears that come out of memory loss. And, you know, 29, 30 years old, discovering that I have these major long-term memory gaps. Some of the events in my life that were the most important has really made that journey difficult. But it's been an amazing process because I've realized how important my memories are to the makeup of who I am. And that's changed the way that I value my life and the purpose that I have.
And reading your book reminds, or makes someone think about for the first time, that if I lose my memories, who am I? Yeah. And the heartbreak, you have this beautiful wife, 4 gorgeous daughters, and what scares you most now about being a dad and husband in regard to this?
Well, that I won't recognize those faces that you're looking at right now. I think, you know, when I get really emotional, it's the idea that I can look them in the face someday and they won't have any relevance to me, because really relevance resides in what we can remember. And, you know, so at 29 and 30, facing some of those memory issues, you know, I look at the former players who are in their 50s and 60s and how this brain disease CTE has manifested itself in their lives. And I can't help but think, you know, is that what's in store? But there are things we can do. The book has, the whole end of the book is hope, especially revolving this cognitive training that I've done. The last year, I've poured into strengthening my cognitive abilities. And I have to say, it's had tremendous impact on my memory.
And if that happens, and we pray it won't, your wife is going to be able to hand this book to your daughters and say, look how much Daddy loves you.
Right. Well, and that's the reason. I mean, that's why I wrote the song with a couple of friends, and
yeah, people may not know, and we're going to show a clip from that. People may not know that you're an excellent, very successful singer.
Oh, well, that's kind of the fun part about my story, is the singing Super Bowler. I mean, nobody expects that. But my very first entrance into Indianapolis sports market was as a singer. I got asked to sing the national anthem for the preseason game against the Bills. So Indianapolis saw me first as a singer than they did as a football player.
So tell us about the song you wrote, and we're going to see a clip of.
Yeah, so You Will Always Be My Girls was a song that came out of a letter to my wife and daughters, if in fact the day comes when I begin to lose memory of them. And it was a very therapeutic process that I went through, very challenging, but the song came out of that. And really the book is a journey through that story. Yeah. And the title, Counting the Days While My Mind Slips Away, is the first line of the song. And it's really, this is about getting people to emotionally connect to how important their mind and their memories are.
Let's take a quick look at the music video.
I'm in here counting the days while my mind is slipping away. I'll hold on as long as I can to you.
Ben, as I was reading the book and I saw the music video online, I was thinking, as a dad, it reminded me there should be no throwaway moments with the children, with my wife, and you're experiencing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just said it perfectly. I think, you know, for me, when I began to realize how critical my memories are to my identity, then I began to value those little moments. You know, like as we talked, when my daughter comes down the stairs and walks in and wants to sit down as I'm reading my Bible. You know, I value that more now. And now that I value those moments more, how does it make me a better man, and a better husband, a better father? And that's kind of where the journey has come. And that's where the whole faith element comes in, because once the Lord taught me the depth of surrender, of handing all control over to Him, handing all trust, putting it in His hands, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, then it's okay.
Because you specifically speak of a morning hiding under the sheets, essentially looking out, and then getting up, looking out the window. Yeah. You didn't want to get out of bed, right? I mean, you had, at least that day, given up.
Yeah, there have been many days over the last 5 to 6 years where I've woken up and looked out the window and just thought, you know, what am I doing here? And feeling a lack of purpose. And this process has really, especially writing this book, has really given me a chance to work through those emotions and realize how blessed I truly am. And my family and my faith are so integral in that.
So what did you surrender recently to Jesus regarding this?
It's so funny. Myself. You know, I realized that surrender is this foundational element, this choice that we have to make, where we give all of ourselves completely over to Him. That's what He wants. He wants every ounce of us. You know, when I gave everything I had on the football field to win a football game, right? That's what He's calling.
I mean, you guys give it all.
you give everything you have. You pour it all out, and that's what we need to do in our relationship with Jesus. And I think that really understanding that lesson of surrender, and I do a lot of speaking. That's what I do now, and to really impart that is critical.
Regarding you had a great college and pro career, Super Bowl champion. What is it that makes you guys go back out there and back out there and back out there when it was not good for your health? Or maybe were people unaware, you got bad counsel?
There's a lot, there's a lot of things I think we can all understand, like, wanting to be there for your team, wanting to be there for your coaches, wanting to be there for your community. These are all people that you care about, and you don't want to let them down. But then there's something deeper than that, and that's the sense of purpose and potential. I mean, I remember telling my wife that probably one of the thing that fills me with the most sadness about having to leave early was that I never felt like I reached my potential. I couldn't walk away from the game saying, yes, that's the best that I could have been. And that's hard for me, being competitive. And I think that's a part of being an athlete is we want to reach our potential. We want to leave our craft saying that we've become the best that we can be.
And you've done a great job in the book of reminding us of the value we find in Jesus Christ, even when the thing we used to put our identity in is no longer a part of our life.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it.
Thank you so much for
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's a tremendous book. If you'd like to get a hold of it, it's called Counting the Days While My Mind Slips Away. It's available wherever books are sold. And after reading it, you may never look at another football game quite the same. Let's go over to Terry.
Well, coming up, he had a good corporate job and threw it all away to be a soup man.
We had nothing. We started with zero. We didn't have any money. We didn't have any donors. We just started because of 3 words: feed my sheep.
And he's done just that every afternoon for more than 10 years. Hear his incredible story when we come back. Jesus commanded his disciples to, quote, feed my sheep. Well, one Texan takes that passage of Scripture quite literally, and in doing that has made a name for himself among the Dallas homeless community. As Caitlin Burke shows us, David Timothy is known simply as the Soup Man.
365 days a year, rain or shine, hot or cold, you can find David Timothy right here feeding the homeless in Dallas.
As a child, I grew up in a household where food was scarce. I was never homeless, but experienced hunger firsthand on a regular basis, going to bed many nights with a stomach that was not full. So that experience, it always stuck with me.
In 2003, Timothy quit his job as a pension consultant to start the Soupmobile.
We had nothing. We started with zero. We didn't have any money. We didn't have any donors. We didn't have any church support. We had nothing. We just started because of 3 words: feed my sheep.
That first year, Timothy and his volunteers served 5,000 meals. Now they serve more than 200,000. While the food is important and very welcome, the folks at the Soupmobile see it more as a doorway into the lives of the homeless community.
We want to feed them every day because they need to be fed, but we want them to get out of homelessness. That's our ultimate goal. We'd love to be out of business someday. We'd love them to get their own homes, get their own jobs, where they can be members of the community that are productive.
Timothy works to build a personal relationship with each person he meets. Then, with the help of Jesus Christ, he says he's able to start helping them turn their lives around.
David believed in me. The Soup Man believed in me, and he gave me a chance at the Soupmobile.
When friends sent Katrina to the Soupmobile, she told us she had no chances left. A drug addict for most of her life, she'd been in and out of jail. Katrina had attempted to make a change before, but nothing had worked.
We were giving her a second chance, for sure, but the odds of her succeeding with us, based on her previous history, were pretty slim. But the beauty of that is that Christ, he doesn't go by the odds.
Katrina started out at the Soupmobile thrift store. After 6 months, she was promoted to assistant manager and trusted with the store keys. She's now been the thrift store's manager for 4 years. Katrina says experiencing the love of Christ made all the difference for her, so she works to pass it on.
There's a lot of homeless people out there, and when I'm able to give them a clean shirt, they're so grateful for that clean shirt or a clean pair of pants, or, you know, there's not a lot of food over at the thrift store. It's closed, but if I have food, I have to feed them too.
The thrift store isn't the only extension of the Suitmobile. Timothy also started what he calls the home church for the homeless in Dallas. In addition to giving the homeless a place to worship, the church offers services like job placement, counseling, housing guidance, and clothing assistance.
But we truly believe that these are good, decent people. They're down on their luck, that's for sure, but nonetheless, they're good, decent people. And what they really need is a hand up. We don't give out handouts at the Suitmobile.
Despite the success and expansion, Timothy remains humble. Walking into his office, one of the first things you notice is his chair. He says many people have offered to buy him a new one, but it serves an important purpose.
It reminds me that I'm not so hot. It reminds me that it's not me that's making this all happen. It reminds me that Christ is the one that makes it all happen.
Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Dallas, Texas.
Wow, what a wonderful way to really take the scripture, put it into action, and not forget that once we too were in a place where we needed to be rescued.
David Timothy's a special man, and he's got a great group supporting him and helping him.
Boy, I guess.
And don't you love the chair?
Yes, I do love the chair.
You put one of those in my office.
Gives new meaning to duct tape, doesn't it?
And Terry and I both looked at each other when he said, but Jesus doesn't play the odds.
That's right.
I mean, what Jesus can do in the life of someone. And it's wonderful when he uses us to help bring about his plan in the life of someone else.
Yeah, the promise. He sees the promise in people. I love that.
Yeah. Well, still to come, medicine is nearly impossible to get for many Syrian refugees.
Very sick. I'm so worried about what my family would do without me.
See how you made a difference for one man and his entire family. That's after this. Millions of people have been displaced by the Syrian civil war, and many of them have found safety in countries like Turkey. But now they're trapped in refugee camps and struggling for basic necessities.
Before leaving Syria, Hassan and his family lived a comfortable life in a big house on their own farm. Now the whole family lives in one small tent in rural Turkey, and they're struggling to make it.
Our home was destroyed in the war, and we had to run for our lives. We came here to escape the fighting and look for work.
Finding everyday necessities like water is hard enough. But while we delivered food to the camp, Hassan told us the kids and all the families were terrified of snakes crawling into their tents after dark. We also found out he's severely diabetic and was running low on insulin.
I am very sick, but I have to work to feed my family. I work in the fields until I'm about to pass out, then eat a sugar cube.
Hassan showed us his family's tent and his dwindling supply of insulin.
I'm so worried about what my family would do without me that I can't sleep at night. Sometimes I have panic attacks and can't control my breathing.
2 days later, we went back to the camp with a fresh supply of insulin for Hassan and a few surprises for all the families. We got a water tank and hooked up a hose for the camp. We also ran electricity to every tent and set up lights.
Now that we have lights, we won't have to be afraid of snakes anymore.
So we've brought food, water, electricity, and medicine to this little refugee camp. And now, Rahman, our local missionary, is talking to everybody about Jesus Christ.
Here in Turkey, CBN is reaching out to those most in need, sharing the love of Christ and bringing hope for a better future.
Thank you so much for the insulin. And with the help you brought to us, we can rest at ease for a while. We've been running from the war for a long time. You're the first people who have helped us.
We see Hassan in the situation he's in as he has to flee from his home, and he's living in a tent. There's no water, there's no electricity. He needs medicine, 8 children. You know, we see news stories like this and we say what a tragedy it is, and we wish God would do something to help. Well, he uses people like you and me to step into situations and bless others. And through CBN partners, we've been able to make their life a little bit easier in the midst of such tough circumstances. You can help us by joining the 700 Club. It's just $20 a month. That's 65 cents a day. If you want to get on board, you can call 888-777-1999 or log on to 700clubinteractive.com. Terry, we have seen examples today through the show of people stepping up, changing their life in order to help others. And sometimes we say, well, I can't radically stop what I'm doing, but I can join the 700 Club and make a tremendous difference.
You know, everybody needs to do something, and I think that's the thing you see in all of these stories is people making a difference because they did what they could. God doesn't ask us to do what we can't. He just says, what have I put in your hand?
Amen. Amen. Well, we leave you with 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 11. But you, O man of God, pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and gentleness. A great word for today. Thanks for joining us. For Terry Mewson, I'm Andrew Knox. We'll see you next time on 700 Club Interactive. Bye-bye.